Oh, Canada. A land so vast and varied, it's like several countries rolled into one. From the moment you step foot on Canadian soil, you're in for a treat. It's a place where nature puts on a show like nowhere else. The people are famously friendly too. Canada is the second largest country in the world. Only Russia beats it for sheer size, but don't let that intimidate you. Every inch of it is worth exploring. From coast to coast to coast, Canada offers a smorgasbord of experiences. There's something here for everyone, whether you're a city slicker or a nature lover. The country spans 6 time zones. That's a lot of ground to cover. In the east, you've got the rugged Atlantic provinces. To the west, the towering Rocky Mountains pierce the sky. Canada's geography is a testament to nature's artistic flair. It's like someone took every type of landscape and tossed them into one enormous country. Let's start with the coasts. On the east, you've got the craggy shores of Newfoundland and Labrador. Here, icebergs float by like giant ice cubes in the Atlantic. On the west, British Columbia's coastline is a maze of islands and fjords. Head inland and you'll hit the Canadian Shield. This ancient rock formation covers nearly half the country. It's dotted with countless lakes and rivers. The prairies come next, stretching across 3 provinces. Here, fields of wheat sway in the breeze as far as the eye can see. But the real showstopper, that's got to be the Rocky Mountains. These aren't just hills, folks, they're proper mountains, jagged and majestic. Now let's talk cities. Canada may be known for its wilderness, but its urban centres are equally impressive. Take Toronto, for instance. It's Canada's largest city and a true melting pot. The iconic CN Tower dominates the skyline. From its observation deck, the city spreads out below like a giant living map. Toronto is a city that never sleeps, with world-class restaurants, theatres and museums. Montreal, meanwhile, is like a little piece of Europe in North America. It's the second largest French-speaking city in the world after Paris. The old town, with its cobblestone streets and historic buildings, is straight out of a fairy tale. Vancouver on the west coast is consistently ranked as one of the world's most livable cities. It's easy to see why. Mountains on one side, ocean on the other, and a vibrant city in between. Stanley Park, larger than New York's Central Park, offers an oasis of green in the heart of the city. Section 4, a mosaic of cultures. One of the things that makes Canada truly special is its people. This is a nation built on diversity. Walk down any street in a major Canadian city and you'll hear a dozen different languages. It's like a real-life United Nations. The Canadian government calls this multiculturalism a mosaic. It's a fitting term. Each culture retains its uniqueness while contributing to the overall picture. The Indigenous peoples were the first to call this land home. Their rich traditions and cultures are an integral part of Canada's identity. From the Inuit in the north to the First Nations across the country, these communities have shaped Canada's past and present. Canada's 2 official languages, English and French, reflect its colonial history. But walk through any major city and you'll hear dozens more. This mix of cultures isn't just tolerated in Canada, it's celebrated. Section 5, Wild Encounters Canada's Fauna. Now let's talk about the furry and not so furry residents of Canada. This country is a paradise for wildlife enthusiasts. The sheer variety of creatures that call Canada home is mind-boggling. From the Arctic to the prairies, from the mountains to the coasts, each region has its own cast of animal characters. Let's start with the icons. The mighty moose, with its comically large antlers, is a symbol of Canada's wilderness. These gentle giants can weigh up to 1,500 pounds. That's about as heavy as a small car. Then there's the beaver, Canada's national animal. These industrious rodents are nature's engineers, building dams that can be seen from space. And who can forget the polar bear? Churchill, Manitoba is known as the polar bear capital of the world. But Canada's wildlife isn't all about the big guys. The country is a bird watcher's dream. Section 6, a nation of opportunity and care. Canada isn't just about stunning landscapes and diverse cultures, it's also a country that takes care of its people. The Canadian approach to education and healthcare is often held up as a model for other nations. Let's start with education. Canada consistently ranks among the top countries in the world for the quality of its education system. From primary school through university, Canadian institutions are known for their high standards. The country invests heavily in education, and it shows. Canadian students regularly outperform their international peers in reading, math and science. Healthcare is another area where Canada shines. The country's universal healthcare system ensures that all residents have access to medical services. It's not perfect. There can be long wait times for non-emergency procedures. But the principle that healthcare is a right, not a privilege, is deeply ingrained in Canadian society.